Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio, and today we are finishing our look at Lost Thunder. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we've looked at all of the cards we need to from Lost Thunder. I don't know if we've actually done the little Pokemon yet, the pre-evolutions that might be going up before or after this video. Either way, that's either just been done or it's coming very soon. And there's 3 Pokemon that just haven't had their own video. And I'm a man that likes making videos looking at Pokemon. I just don't think these are particularly good. Now, this always has to come with a pinch of salt. I put the original Latios, the one from Shining Legends, in a pointless video, because I just assumed it was a worse version of Tapu Koko. I've been proved thoroughly wrong. The promo Mewtwo was thought by many to be a terrible card, and that's seen a fair amount of play, and no one was really hyping Shining Lugia, and that turns out to be really good. So you never know what's going to be good in the future, so we need to look at the last couple cards just in case. Usual rules apply, revealed on the official Japanese website, translated by the lovely David Hockman. So starting off, Mantine. Good things about Mantine? It's a basic water Pokemon, which means you can use Brooklet Hill to search it out. It means you can use Aqua Patch to accelerate energy onto it. It's not really hitting much for weakness unless Turtonator suddenly gets randomly big. But then again, the weakness to lightning is okay. It does have a resistance to fighting, which is pretty good with Buzzwole running around. And the retreat cost here of 3 is very, very high. And the HP of 120 is actually kind of annoying because it means something like Zoroark will KO you fairly easily. But the good news is you do have a good ability here. If this Pokemon has any energy attached to it, it has no retreat cost. That's actually really nice to have a free retreater. But something like Tapu Koko is just a free retreater. This is a free retreater if you've got energy attached to it. And you're not really going to want to have energy attached to it. It essentially means you attach a single energy and that energy functions as a float stone, except it can't be field blowered away. But it's not great. If you really need a free retreater, that's when it comes in handy. That's about it. As for the attack, you can see there on the screen, 2 water, 1 colourless, 100 damage. Will KO a Turtonator? Yay! Won't KO very much else. 100 damage isn't particularly good. You're not hitting for a particularly good weakness, and it's 2 water, 1 colourless, so you can't even use double colourless energy. Yes, you can use Aqua Patch, but anyone that's putting free energy on one of these rather than something like a Lapras, I'm going to want to know why. No, ladies and gentlemen, not a fan of Mantine at all. Let's give it 2 Wassies. Best thing I can say about it, it's a free retreater once you've attached an energy, which you're clearly not going to want to do. Moving on, we are getting a new Stantler card. Yay! Now, the basics here are actually pretty poor. 110 HP is fine. It's up there with something like Tapu Koko, but it still won't take a hit from Zoroark. It's got a weakness to fighting, which sucks with Buzzwole. I will give it a little bit of credit, because Diancie Prism Star should be in play with all Buzzwole decks. And Buzzwole's generally doing 30 damage, and I'm referring either to the general GX Buzzwole or Baby Buzz here. Hey, Nick. So, with a Diancie Prism Star, they'll be doing 50 with weakness 100. You will be able to take a hit from Buzzwole here. Yay! That is about the best thing I can say about this. Retreat cost of 2 is needlessly awkward because it means you're just out of range of using a skateboard to get free retreat. And being a colourless Pokemon means you don't get any extra tricks. There's nothing really good. The basics of this card are among the worst we've seen. But maybe the attacks are good. I mean, if they were great, they'd have its own video, but maybe there's a use. 1 colourless energy, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Confusion. I mean, confusion's alright if your opponent tries to attack, flip a coin, if tails it fails and they take 30 damage, but really, no. Not when something like an Espeon is doing 30 damage and confusion for a single energy. I know it's a stage 1 rather than a basic, but we've got the energy evolution Eevee here. Not when something like Xurkitree is doing 20 damage plus confusion for a single energy, while having more HP and a lower retreat cost and a resistance to lightning and actually hitting for weakness. No, not good at all. Maybe the second attack, 2 colourless energy, bearing in mind you can use a double colourless energy here, given that they are colourless energy. 20 damage, if this Pokemon has a tool card attached to it, this attack does 60 more damage. Clearly here, your first thought should be, hey, wait a second, why don't we play it with a choice band? Then you're hitting 110 damage for a double colourless energy. And here's what's super annoying about Stantler. If this was hitting for any weakness, this would be a really good attack. If it was a lightning type, you'd be doing 220 to a Ho-Oh and getting a one-hit KO for a double colourless energy on a basic. If it was a psychic type, you'd be hitting for weakness on something like Buzzwole or Espeon or Naganadel, and you'd be doing 220 for a single energy and getting a one-hit KO for a double colourless on a basic. If you were a fairy type, you'd be getting a one-hit KO on a Rayquaza. Even if you were like a metal type, you wouldn't quite be getting a one-hit KO on a Gardevoir, because you'd be hitting 220 and they've got 230, but then you could use a Shrine of Punishment and get a one-hit KO. If Stantler was any type other than colourless, I'd be saying it's a really good card, it would be getting its own video, because for a double colourless energy, one energy attachment, you'd be getting a one-hit KO on a GX. I'd love it. But it's a colourless Pokemon, so you're hitting weakness on nothing. And 80 damage isn't really enough to get many non-GXs, and 110 isn't enough to get any GXs. So actually, what? No. And finally, Xatu. Now, Mr. Nick Pierce, Mr. Hey Nick himself, Hey Nick, is a big fan of this Pokemon. Sorry, Nick. Not a huge fan. 100 HP on a stage 1 is honestly pretty low. Weakness as Psychic means you're going to get absolutely smashed by something like a Garbodor. I mean, retreat cost of 1, I suppose, isn't terrible, but you're still a stage 1. Psychic double colourless, 80 damage. I mean, look, with a choice band here, you are still getting a one-hit KO on Buzzwole and Espeon, etc. But it's for a Psychic and a double colourless. Frankly, we've got better options. Now, I will say, I don't mind the first attack. And of all the Pokemon we're looking at, the first attack of Xatu here is the best of all of them. 30 damage, look at your opponent's hand. If they have any energy cards in their hand, this attack does 60 more damage. So you're essentially doing 90 damage for a double colourless energy. And if you remember what I was saying about Stantler here, actually, this is hitting the numbers. Against an Necrozma, which is still seeing a fair amount of play in Malamar decks, this is actually going to get you a one-hit KO straight away. And then time you add a choice band, you're getting all the other stuff. I mean, Buzzwole, you just need a Shrine of Punishment, and you're getting a KO here, which is lovely. And then, like I say, with a choice band, you're getting all of your Naganadel, your Espeon, etc. The problem is basically twofold. First of all, your opponent's got to have an energy in their hand. And it's any energy card, it doesn't have to be a basic energy. But what if your opponent doesn't have an energy card in hand? If your opponent doesn't have an energy card in hand, then you're not doing anything here. Well, you are. You're doing 30 damage for a double colourless energy. That's just plain not good. And secondly, this is on a stage 1. The thing is, if these psychic Pokemon like Buzzwole put energy on, as they want to do, then all of a sudden you've got Deoxys here, which can get a one-hit KO with a choice band. And I think here, Deoxys is a much better option than Xatu. I think of the ones we've looked at in this video, Xatu's probably the best, but that's not saying very much. It's like saying the best of Matthew Stafford's interceptions against the Jets the other night. Still doesn't make me feel any better about how bad he was. Go Lions? No. I'm giving this 2 Wassies, and I'm going to give Stantler between 1 and 2 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. Stantler kind of offends me because it's almost good. The other 2 cards here are just, nah. They are underwhelming, ladies and gentlemen. They are underwhelming. But I want to know what you think about these. Can you see any uses for these cards? Do you think I've been unnecessarily harsh about some of these cards? Or are you looking at them going, no, Wassie, you know what? These cards suck. You were right. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. But do please remember the rule. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.